So, there's been an abundance of news for Battletech and MechWarrior over the last little bit here. I might be a few days late to the party on some of this stuff, but I'd rather get it all together into one more significant video than just spam a bunch of tiny shorts. Much to the chagrin of YouTube, I'm sure. So, with that brief introduction out of the way, let's get started, shall we? The biggest news is probably that there is going to be another MechWarrior Clans DLC coming out from Piranha Games. It's called Wolves of Tukiad. It'll be arriving on December 4th. Apparently, it'll have Rana Kerensky's star as the primary focus of the game. It's going to be a 20-mission campaign overall, and has 6 mechs, not currently in the game, being integrated over to it. You'll of course still have access to the prior mechs from the core game as well, and if you have Flashstorm, I would assume Flashstorm's mechs will port over to the campaign too. They are also making some improvements as general updates on things like jump jets, and they have a bunch of cool stuff on their website, showing off how they intend for all of that to work. Now with that out of the way, there is yet more MechWarrior news, in that coming in January apparently, the Naga is going to be added into MechWarrior Online. It also appears in the Wolves DLC as well, to be clear. This is a pretty unique design as far as clan equipment goes, in that it's got 2 hard-locked Arrow 4 artillery systems in it. And apparently, the Arrow 4 is going to be added into MechWarrior Online too. I have zero idea if this is going to be a good thing for gameplay balance, but the model's nice. They've also added the first Ill-Clan-era recognition guide mech to the game ever, in that they showed off the Naga 2, which is a Naga without its Arrow 4 systems. Lore-wise and tabletop-wise, this mech leaves a bit to be desired, and is a bit of a choice. However, in-game, with extreme customization, I am sure people will find many ways to make it very viable. Moving outside of the video game space, there are developments on the tabletop end of Battletech. First of all, Battletech Aces The Scouring Sands has dropped, and people are starting to receive their pre-orders and new orders for the box. Some of the online stores have outright sold out of these already as far as I know, so it looks like people are really going in on it. And it makes sense. Caveat, people in the United States, I in Canada, don't really have the access at the moment. Aces, for those of you who are not aware, is an Alpha Strike subgame, or an alternative game mode, that allows for you to play independently against an AI card deck. I've played it multiple times over its development, and it's a lot of fun. I'll say though, the best form of play for it, in my opinion, is definitely when you play cooperatively with other people. It lets Alpha Strike become an experience playing with your friends, rather than against them, and I think that's huge. It opens up Battletech to a whole new style of play. I suggest people look into it if you haven't already. There is also a classic version that is being worked on as well. So, that's gotta be all for Aces. Oh, only it's not. There is yet more news on this front. The next Aces product is going to be called Snowblind, and will focus on the Rosselhig Dominion Civil War as the setting for the set. Expect something similar in scope to Scouring Sands, though it'll focus on Ghost Bear units. The card deck is also different as well, meaning that the AI that will come inside of that particular set has potentially different moves and different priorities than the one that is in the Scouring Sands. It's also going to have a couple of unique mechs in it, for those of you who are interested in this. It's going to give you the Rhymotter, which is an Ill-Clan era design and a very fascinating one, and the terrifying Viking 2C, basically a Ghost Bear variant of a Comstar missile boat. Not sure when the release date will be on for this one yet, but I hope it's as well received as the Scouring Sands has been. It sounds like we've got an Ost pack coming out as well in terms of a reinforcement pack for the Battletech General game. Or at least that's what I think I saw? Leah International has a YouTube video up on the Elysian Lancers box, and it should have a bunch of Ost mechs in it. So, the Ostal, the Ostrock, and potentially even the Ost War. At least based off of what we heard before, and based off of some of the shots we got of the box being put together. Since it's a mercenary box, That does mean, though, it'll end up at Barnes & Noble's as a timed exclusive for a bit. But after that timed period is over, it will appear in other markets as well. Still, Ostmechs are fun, so that's cool. On the book front, there was the recent release of Outfoxed by Catalyst Game Labs, written by Brian Young, and it is a Fox Patrol novel. I've read it, it was fun. No time for me to review it this time, but I'd wager it's worth your time if you're into the Clan era. I am intending on reading all of the Fox Patrol materials next year on top of this to put together a single concise video on the unit, and I think that'll be a lot of fun. But so far I've enjoyed the Fox Patrol from everything I've read for it. So I definitely recommend you check out this particular book. There is also now the pending release of the Bounty Hunter Anthology series. This one's been in the works for a while and was mentioned during the Kickstarter. Also, you may have gotten this as a part of your Mercenaries Kickstarter, and it should be available as an EPUB file in your backer kit. I got mine in said Kickstarter, so I'm going to end up reading this one quite soon. For those of you who didn't grab it or get it as a reward in the Mercenaries Kickstarter, the link to pre-order it is now out in the wild, and it will be out in about a week. Shifting back over to something else now, there have been more playtest rules since the last time we talked about this on the channel, but I'm not going to cover that as extensively this time around. All I'll say is autocannons outside of the LBX series went from being basically a burden on any battle mech that they were placed on, to being a mid-tier weapon. Ultra autocannons got a big boost from not jamming anymore, meaning that they aren't an overt liability. Very exciting stuff for people to playtest, at least in my opinion. There are other elements too, of course, like things involving C3 and aerospace, but that's the part that sticks out the most to me and in a good way. One of the reasons why, of course, being that not everybody is going to play with C3 or aerospace, but just about everybody plays with autocannons at some point. As a bit of an unfortunate news update, though not that big of a deal, compared to a previous video which I'd done on new releases, there is going to be a delay on both Kharadin packs making it out into the wild, it would seem. Both of them have been pushed back into next year rather than this December. So if you're looking for either of the incredible Lance packs that are going to be coming out, at least I think they look pretty great, those will be coming out in either late January or early February as far as I know. But I just wanted to give everyone an update on that because that date has changed compared to my prior talking about it. I think that covers all of the bases this time around. Links to all of this stuff will be in the top pinned comment to everything I used to put this wonderful little news video together for all of you. Just a little bit of a heads up for the channel itself, I'm currently working on a Lone Wolves video, and after that I'm going to be working on a Phoenix Hawk 2C video. The latter of which will have incredible artwork by Eldonius Rex and Marco Mazzoni. The former of which, the Lone Wolves video, has a beautiful art piece by the great Alan Blackwell. Huge thank you to all of the YouTube channel members for allowing me to do this content. And a big thanks to everyone else just for being here to hang out and watch. I hope you found this informative. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content as I get things done. But I do have a question for all of you in the audience. What news are you most interested in? In other words, what are you the most excited for? Did you get aces yet? Let me know in the comment section below, and I will catch you all there.